Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to talk about avoidants that are controlling and jealous. We're going to break it up into two pieces, okay? We're going to talk about the jealousy first, and then we're going to talk about the controlling aspects. It's a little different of a subject, but I do think it's important to touch on these topics every now and again on this channel. We're going to talk about how these issues can show up in the relationship and how we can navigate it so that we can create more depth within the relationship as the two individuals can heal. The last one will be triggering, so I kept that last, okay? We're going to start with jealousy. Jealousy is more common with fearful avoidance. And I'm going to talk about some aspects and examples of jealousy, and then we're going to talk about how to navigate it, okay? And then before we touch the triggering topic, which is actually in the last point in control, I will let you know so you can click off, okay? If you need to. The first one, we're talking about jealousy right now. They accuse you of cheating, being married, lying, or having someone over. Now, this is not always because they're cheating. A lot of people believe that, people are assuming that you're cheating because they're cheating. Possibly, but that's not really what it typically is. And I'm going to explain what happens, okay? And we've talked about this on the channel before. Fearful avoidants are very, very familiar with infidelity. A lot of them. Most of them have been cheated on. Many came from families where their mother or father was the affair partner, and they feel it's normal. Like they are the product of an affair. Sometimes that happens. Some of them have siblings who have multiple affairs or their parents cheat on each other and stayed, or off and on type situation. A lot of times their parents were also very paranoid of who's cheating on who. And sometimes they don't even have that family system that a lot of people speak of, at least in the United States, right? Where there's a father and a mother, and then, they're married and they stay together. And yes, of course, that functioning is different for many families, but fearful avoidance particularly, they don't even really have that example, right? As I'd mentioned, some of them, let's just say their mother was an intimate worker. We've talked about this before. And she does whatever she needs to do to feed her kids and whatever she's doing, right? And then she gets pregnant, has that kid. She wants whoever to marry her. That never happened. The person that she had a child with, maybe he was married, whatever it is. And so this child, and there's a lot of trauma. Let's say the child becomes fearful avoidance. And they believe cheating is just like, that's what they saw in families. Like that is their first understanding of marriage and love and life and whatever it is, or lack of marriage, right? And so the understanding of being cheated on is very close to their perception of love. They think love and cheating and romance and relationships, they all are stuck together. It's hard to unravel unless they process it typically in therapy. And so often they accuse their partners of cheating, even when you're not doing anything, right? And so even mentioning something can help reassure them that this is not happening. And I'm going to explain how to challenge these behaviors. You can mention, I feel like you often accuse me of cheating. After all these years, I feel like you know me better. Is there something I'm doing to make you feel this way? It takes a lot of rapport for this to fit, but often it's expressed in a palatable way because you're reassuring, which helps them with the anxious side, but you're also saying it in a very matter-of-factly way, which helps with the avoidant side. Of course, it really depends on how strongly they lean one way or another, but that's just one example. You guys can come up with more, but that is one way to help them understand what's going on, because sometimes they don't even realize that they are struggling with this. They think it's normal. Another way that cheating and jealousy is expressed in these relationships is that they actually feel like you care more about others than you care about them. Now, this one is going to sound, I don't know how you guys are going to take it, but this is really common. Sometimes they might even feel jealous of children. Like if you have a kid or you guys have a kid together, they might feel jealous over that. Maybe you have a dog and you just care a lot for your dog, which I'm glad that you do. I love that. But they might feel jealous. And this is not something to make fun of them about, okay? It's something that a lot of them harbor a lot of shame and embarrassment around. Why am I jealous over a baby? Why am I jealous over a dog? They bring this up in session. It's so hard for me to even admit that I'm actually jealous that my husband, I feel like he likes a cat better than me, right? It's hard for them to admit that, right? They say that in session. That's an example. And this often comes from their belief that they are easily replaceable. Reassurance actually goes a really long way with this one. This one is actually, reassurance can just heal it very well. And a lot of people are afraid if I give my partner reassurance, they're going to get defensive. They're not going to take it. Or they're going to keep asking for reassurance. This one particularly, it really does go a long way, which is some solid reassurance. Depends. You might need more rapport. But you might say, I never meant to make you feel replaceable. You mean so much to me. Now, if it's a fearful avoidant that leans more dismissive avoidant, like leans on the avoidant side, you might want to say, you can say it a little bit more with clarification, right? If I didn't think that you were important, I wouldn't be here. I'm careful who I let in my life. So yes, you're very important, right? That is more of how avoidants tend to talk. So that one might be helpful for that. Now, let's talk about the controlling side, okay? So jealous and controlling. Jealous is more common with fearful avoidance. Controlling is more common with dismissive avoidance. The gender is not specific. If it ever is, I will mention it because the first one is specific to female avoidance. Decisions like what to eat, where to eat, or not even what to eat, but like the timing of when to eat, the routine of when you guys hang out is very rigid. This is slightly more common with fearful avoidance, female dismissive avoidance, but not always, okay? Usually what you do with this one is you want to introduce flexibility very slowly. Some fearful avoidance, I keep saying fearful avoidance, some female avoidance, what they sometimes do is they don't like you to go in certain rooms in their house. And it's not because they're hiding something. It's because they want to feel like their autonomy is protected. And female avoidants are a little bit more paranoid of being taken advantage of and being exposed or being ridiculed or being hurt, because that's sometimes their experiences. A lot of times what I notice with, and it's not all female avoidance, but a lot of them, because they felt very different, female avoidance, they definitely, most of them did not fit in with their peer group, because a lot of women, even secure women, they tend to be a little bit more anxious than their secure male counterparts, right? And there's research on this, right? Men tend to lean a little bit more avoidant and women tend to lean a little bit more anxious. So if you're a female avoidant, you feel like an oddball. And so often they feel paranoid in general, judged, ridiculed, embarrassed, a little bit more obvious than male avoidance. So sometimes they don't like you to go into certain parts of their room, not because they think they're hiding something, but maybe you're going to make fun of them. Maybe she has maybe the guest room is decorated in a certain old-fashioned way, and which is nothing wrong, but she's like, maybe he'll make fun of me. So I don't want him to go into that room. And you might think, okay, she's hiding something, what's going on? Or I don't want him to see my bathroom because I keep it a certain way, or I decorate it a certain way, or I didn't clean it this morning and he's going to judge me, even though it's not dirty at all, right? She's going to be afraid of those types of things. And sometimes introducing that flexibility can help. You might say something like, let's say she's really uncomfortable at making a decision, but she doesn't want you to make a decision either, so it's kind of gridlock. Let's say you want to go to the movies, and she keeps saying, no, I don't want to go to the movies. I want to either do something like this or this, right? She's just not really making the decision, but she's stuck on trying to control your outcome as well. So you can say something like, I like going to the movies or taking a walk. Which one would you rather do? So she still gets to control, but you also have control as well. The next one is that a lot of avoidants are like this, dismissive avoidance particularly, male and female. What they need to do when they decompress, and they're unwilling to negotiate that, okay? Sometimes what they need to do is they need to watch TV, or they need to lie down. If they're fearful avoidant, sometimes they need to lie down. Dismissive avoidance, they need to engage in hobbies. Sometimes they need to check their emails, sometimes so frequently. They need to check their finances, their bank statements. They need to do that to decompress and calm down. And so sometimes this is difficult because maybe they need to watch TV and they need to be all alone. They need to eat their food all by themselves, and they kick you out and you have to go upstairs if you guys live together, right? You can't function like that. And so eventually you want to have a conversation about this. Mention you're willing to give them what they need, but you want them to be clear about when they need it. What are the limitations of it? And is there any room for negotiation of any place? If so, can you move the space? Can you have them have like a little basement or a separate study room that they can do it there? Because some of them, what ends up happening in marriages, avoidance, they start doing that all throughout the spaces in the home, and then their partner feels like a stranger in their own home, okay? The last one is a triggering one, and we're going to talk about bedroom intimacy. So if you don't want to hear this, I would click off. More common with male avoidance, it's going to be triggering, okay? Only wanting intimacy when they want it. Okay. This comes from feeling like if you want it, it's pressure. So it's not like in an abusive sense, okay? It means that they feel like if you want it, you're going to pressure them, you're not going to like it, you're going to get mad at them if they don't do something right. And so what they do is they only want it when they want it. And if you want it, they might start pulling away. So what you can do is you communicate that you have no intention of pressuring them and will be mindful if it comes across that way. That's all you have to do. So let's summarize the points and then we'll wrap it up, okay? Fearful avoidants tend to struggle with jealousy more. It can happen with dismissive avoidants, but usually how it shows up is they accuse you of cheating or anything of that sort, and you just need to reassure them, bring up, hey, I noticed that you accuse me a lot. You don't have to say it like that, but I noticed that you bring up that I'm cheating a lot. Is there anything that I can do to make you feel that way? Because I've never cheated on you, okay? The next one is they feel like you care about something more than them. Tell them that they're not replaceable, that they're important to you, that you value them, okay? For control, a lot of dismissive avoidants are controlling about what they eat, when they eat, their routines, when to hang out, not going into certain rooms, whatever it is. Present them with 2 options and let them choose that option. So you have the control, but they also have the control. I would like if we could hang out at your house and today maybe go in either the basement or the kitchen today. Which one do you prefer? Okay. The next one is that they have specific routines that they need to decompress. Communicate with them and try and see if there's an area to negotiate. And if not, let them communicate when they need that. And the last one is only wanting intimacy on their terms. Communicate that you're not trying to pressure them. I hope this video was helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.